And we are live. Hi, everyone. Hi, David.
Hi from Australia. Welcome, everyone.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to say from Australia, there's David Starlight. Oh, gosh, David, thank you so much for coming and this super important show that we're doing tonight on healing. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. It's as you said, such an important topic, and I'm looking forward to exploring this topic further.
Right. And you are a healer, and I'm a healer too. So it'll be interesting to kind of talk a little bit about tonight about how we do heal. But I have a whole stack of books and stuff that I'll be talking to people about. I have a lot of people that come and, request healings and things like that. And I know that along with readings and everything, there's so many different things that you do. And one is connecting to your client and getting them to get some good healing. You may not have heard some of the things we're going to talk about tonight. Color breathing is one of them. We want to say hi to Carlos. Hi, Carlos. Says hi, David.
Hi,
Let's see if I can
Carlos.
bring the comments. There we go. Oh, he saw a Super Mario movie. I see it there. Thank you for sharing, Carlos. Um, so anyway, color breathing, I'll be talking about that. I have personal experiences doing this. It really does work. Um, also, this older book, The Miracle of Metaphysical Healing with Evelyn Monahan. So this is a real good oldies. It's hard to get. So I've
And
had a couple
a lot
copies.
of this knowledge it hasn't changed for generations, and those old books can be really wonderful and good resources.
Well, when we look at these two books, or these two things, Color Breathing and The Miracle of Metaphysical Healing, you can tell by the method that they all came from the same place. And actually, color breathing came out of university. It wasn't somebody's seance room. This was studied. And I don't know where it stopped being studied, but people have written some books on it. And so, what we want to do tonight is kind of showcase to you guys a little bit of different methods that are out there, a little bit of experiences that we may have with it, and maybe some resources such as David. David has where you can book sessions with him at heal.me/star mental health. So I'm going to keep that up there so you guys can copy that down. Uh, so are you ready now, David? We're going to go ahead and start. Anybody that's watching that has a question about healing, how to heal or how to get healing, just write your question for us in the comments. So, and I'm going to go ahead and start with talking about right now as we speak, my feet are on an earthing mat. And I know, David, you've heard about the earthing movement.
Absolutely. I think there's a book called Earthing, which is a fantastic book. I really recommend it to everyone. And they do have various products that help with grounding.
Well, I actually have three earthing mats, and I've given them away to a couple of people, and which they've said that they've had a difference in their health being grounded to the earth using them. Another way that you could do it is just walk in the grass, walk the earth and go barefoot. But
Well, I
go
don't know
ahead.
if because I don't know if interrupting you is going to interrupt your flow. I'm
It's
sorry, guys,
fine.
but this is a very big topic and a very important topic because we have lost our connection to the earth, to nature, and this is where all good energy lies. So most of us are just mostly disconnected or somewhat disconnected from nature and from the healing energy that nature provides us.
That's right. And I think that it's so important that I keep my feet on it when I can. we're so used to putting on shoes, I think, and that might be some of the problem of connecting or not gardening ourselves and things like that. But this is just one of those methods that you can, and what they said comes out of this is less inflammation in the body. So I'm testing this out every day now to see how it works for me. So there's a lot of
And
things you can do.
and there is science behind these, the conversation we're having, these the aspects of earthing, because negative ions are what causes what is anti-inflammatory. So what reverses aging, reverses inflammation in the body are these negative ions, which you get abundantly at a waterfall, in the ocean, any area that's strongly natural, trees. That's where we're getting these negative ions. But definitely the stronger, this can be scientifically verified areas of very heightened nature, really power. People call them power spots sometimes, power places with very high energy vortices.
You know what? I think Carlos, you might be able to check for us. If you can't, that's fine. But I think Netflix might have the Earthing movie on it. So there is a movie out on it, so you can just watch the whole thing. But I got the book that came with my Earthing mat. And this is one of the ways that we might try to heal ourselves. Um, I want to tell you guys one of the things I did when I had some anxiety in my life from an incident that happened. Um, I got very anxious. It wasn't me at all. I didn't want to go into enclosed spaces, all kinds of things. And so I went through hypnosis. And I was so lucky to find someone who talked to me because my doctor had just put me on heart medicine. And my heart was fine, but he wanted to slow it down. And I talked to her and I called up my doctor and said, take me off this medicine. I know what to do. And I went off the medicine and I went through 5 sessions and cured me completely, completely. And that was from anxiety. And sometimes people have natural anxiety for most of their lives. For me, it was something that happened. And so this really changed my life. Learning to relax and going through that hypnosis so that I could go home. To this day, she gave me what's called a cassette. And I put it in a little like a Walkman thing, if you guys remember cassette player. And to this day, when I listen to it, when it starts about being the relaxation part, I'm gone and I don't hear, I wake up to a snap of her fingers and a whole 30 minutes is gone. And I'm like, whoa, I was out. So I know it works, but it did really save my life. So hypnosis was really great. Do you have any thoughts about hypnosis, David?
Well, I studied hypnosis, and I had my own methodology, and I enjoyed working with it therapeutically. It's quite close to meditation, and often I find people sort of there isn't much of a difference really, and all it is a deeper relaxation state, and anyone can get into that. So self hypnosis is very effective. And all of these are models. So our body naturally, as children, as babies, we fall asleep. No one teaches a baby, well, this is how you fall asleep. But as adults, or even sometimes as children, I remember sometimes having insomnia as a teenager with something that was really stressful. And so these natural processes like sleep, we don't need to be taught that or how to relax. It's almost like we forget it and we need reminding. And hypnotherapy helps, for instance, relax different body parts and different sequences and processes that you can go in. And these are, in the Indian tradition, they have yoga nidra, which is progressive relaxation of the body. So there's an East meets West component here. And because of my experience living and working in Asia and studying different Asian modalities, I have quite a rich, textured knowledge and experience of these matters. It is a paradigm that helps, and one's openness is what guides the process. So if you're open to relaxing or listening to instructions, then it can definitely work for you. If you're not open, then it's not going to work, because if I say to you, relax your arm, and you don't want to do that, then so hypnotherapy only works if you follow instructions. So that's,
you better go along with it.
Yeah, you have to be receptive to following instructions, and if you are, because it is for your benefit, then it's really can help a lot.
So David, what popped into my mind with this guided meditations, hypnosis, whatever, was massage, because I don't know what it is, but stress goes on my neck, my upper shoulders, and I will be like that for a long time. And I think it's accumulative, because I remember having so much stress for so long that finally that's when the anxiety came out with an incident that happened. But getting that muscles taken care of, oh my gosh, I feel like that attributed to my health. And
Well,
what is your take on
absolutely.
massage?
Well, I have been a massage therapist for over 21 years. I was telling you before the show, so I have a lot of experience in body work, and we do hold stress in our bodies and emotions in our bodies, and it's very transformative to clear the body and have someone work through the body, and it really aligns consciously with things like relaxation, because say I've been through a traumatic event, and instead of holding that within and not doing anything to move that energy, I switch over into proactivity, and I go, all right, I'm going to go for a massage. And during that massage, my mental process is going to be feel safe, feel relaxed, expand your energy, feel comfortable with someone else being in your presence. So I find it's incredibly powerful to combine different processes like massage with the mental acuity or the mental focus on, for instance, letting go or whatever it
Right.
is that's troubling you. That so you're holding emotions in the body, so moving them is what's really important and going to move things forward, because so much of energy gets blocked and suppressed and repressed, and it's just not moving. So moving the energy is really important. Things like yoga, qigong, tai chi, massage, involving some kind of movement, involving the body, are really helpful and powerful. And most kinds of exercise as well are very helpful.
Oh
Swimming,
yeah.
running,
Yeah.
moving through nature, walking, these are all very powerful.
Right. Anything that we want to, also get our spirits up and get going, those what endorphins or whatever. We want to, get the feel good feeling and chemicals going in the brain and all of that. Um, I want to tell you a story. It came into. Thank you for sharing. It came into my mind just a few minutes ago. I tend to forget this one. But when I was going through the anxiety, one thing I reached out to, which is happens a lot, which people will identify with, is you go to your higher power and you pray, and you really want a healing to come, or when you're praying for anybody or whatever. So I did, one of the things I did was to pray, and I use God and of course Jesus and all of that. I work with the other side, but I went to God and I said, please, you know this anxiety is not me, and I have to work, and I have a child, and I need this taken. And so working with the um, with the hypnosis and all of that, learning to relax. And I went and I prayed. And I'm going to tell you what happened. I laid down in bed and I had a pillow behind me. And all of a sudden, I could hear and feel the pillow moving and my head moving. So, like, this is my skull, and it went 1, 2, 3. And my parts of my brain went 1, 2, 3, and I could hear it moving. I could hear my hair and the pillow, and the movement of the pillow going 1, 2, 3. So I went back to my doctor and I said, I went off the heart medicine. I went back to the doctor and I said, look, I'm going to tell you what happened. I was in bed and my head moved. And he said, Debbie, that's impossible. That's impossible. But that's when I got better. And then learning the relaxation thing, I think, saved my life for the rest of my life, because I didn't know how to relax. And but I feel like I had a spiritual healing. And I wanted to talk to everybody about spiritual healing and religious healing and things like that. So many people do hands-on healing. You can see that people go into churches, and this is kind of my take on it. When they have the healings in churches, they kind of start with not a lot of noise going on. People are in there, but the preacher or the minister might get a little bit higher in vibration and louder and all of that, and music starts and it gets very, very much into a frenzy at that point. And when it gets to its highest vibration, that is when a lot of people are healed. That's when you see the crutches being thrown and people getting up out of their wheelchairs for, let's say, sincere real healing. Okay, we know that there's a lot of people that fake that stuff, but it's in the highest vibration. And I think that's important. If you're going to go for spiritual healing, I think being in that vibration of violet and all of that high energy going on is super important. And I really do feel like that the people that do Reiki, so beneficial. The people that, there's so many pranic healers, all that kind of stuff, is an avenue to explore if you are needing some healing. What do you think, David?
I believe we are all healers, and our body is healing naturally, spontaneously. And what happens is, for various reasons, the flow gets interrupted. It can be a stressful event. It can be a trauma, perhaps that we experienced in a childhood, perhaps something from a previous lifetime. So for me, I see things in a multidimensional way, in a sort of tapestry where something may be happening to you that's a co-creation that's formed from a previous lifetime event that you may not have conscious access to, but you have the remnants of that energy. That energy is still affecting you. So healing happens on all levels: emotional, physical, spiritual, and sometimes we need all of those to be aligned. We need all of them to be in accord, in symphony. Sometimes our soul choice is, for instance, to die, and our soul choice is like that is it. Or our soul choice is, you need to have this accident or this disease to learn all of these things. So not everything is set in stone. Most things are not set in stone. There's a consciousness that we can bring. There's a co-creation that we can bring into the field. It's sometimes something happens and it's like, why did this happen? And it's the soul is like, this is just my life choice. So not everything is changeable. I don't know how you feel about that. I think most things are changeable to some extent, and definitely our perception of that. So say we have an accident. I had an accident, so I can talk from my personal experience. The perception of that accident, why did this happen to me? How am I going to deal with this, can really shift, and we can come into balance and acceptance of it without resisting without resisting it, surrendering to that as being part of our part of our destiny. That there is always a co-creation. There's always some co-creation happening, and some things are happening that we have really huge conscious choice over. We can use our will to define that experience and how we experience that. Not everything is absolutely like we can just snap our fingers and it can change. And that's why some people, people go to these healing events, and some people have these miraculous healings, and some don't, because there's many levels and many aspects of this topic. So there are nuances and complexity to it.
Well, I want to say that, yeah, I have like different takes too on things. I do feel like we're biological creatures and we're subject to disease and injuries, accidents, and things. I don't think that I think that's part of what isn't, like ordained to happen in our life. But there's so much kind of unknown out there. More and more, I find out how things are connected, which I probably would have gotten up 10 years ago and say, no, we're not all connected in that way. And now I'm finding out we are. So for me, I know that is definitely going to change. I wanted to talk about hands-on healers right now and long distance healing. Whenever I needed healing or somebody needed healing, I would always go online. And there's a wonderful people there, real healers, and they don't charge a penny, that you can reach out and get on a healing list with. And you just have to type in free healing lists. So I want people to know that. I had really great results from somebody named Tomas. I think he is at freehealing.org or something like that. But the fact is that the pandemic came and a lot of things have changed out there in the internet. I also think that praying helps. And so I tell people to get on a free praying list. What do you think about having like mass people or a congregation pray, David? How much impact would that have?
Well, I see everyone as having an energetic field, a vibrational network around them, call it a web of energy. And when you combine the webs of energy of other people or congregations, say, that energy is amplified. So if we could focus our energy, say, towards peace, the more of us that can focus will create more peace. Like it's almost like, you have an ocean and we're all droplets of that ocean, and the more of us can come together in peace, the more, you'll have massive waves. We could have a tidal wave of peace. As a metaphor,
That's a good way of saying it.
With the same vibrational frequency, and the reverse of that, when you see a lot of nature, a lot of violence in nature, I believe that's connected to the human energetic field, the human mental field that's creating that frequency of destruction. So I believe a lot of climate change is linked to the human emotion, call it, and not so much to things like carbon dioxide, because carbon dioxide is a very, very small percentage of our atmosphere. I think it's 0.13 or something like that. It's a very 0.013, I think. Whatever it is, it's a very small percentage. And I believe that our emotions and our consciousness is what's creating these disasters and these storms and these natural events.
It seems that things are so crazy that where did it come from? It doesn't seem natural at all that 3 years of stuff. 3 years of stuff. And I know here in the US, we would just blink our eye, it'd be another month and we had killer hornets. Another month, we've got terrible tornadoes. I mean, it just kept going and it's still going. I was hoping that 2023 would slow down on the crazy stuff a little bit, but we do have a lot of terrible things that are happening.
And in
So,
to some extent, the natural formation of this three-dimensional reality is going to have this bipolarity, this duality of good versus evil, light versus dark. We are able to transcend that. I don't know when that's going to happen. At least for the next, at least for the next significant time, there is going to be some duality where there is the light and the dark battling each other, and we see that in so many different platforms, the light versus the dark.
David, I want to tell everyone about how I heal people because it's something I've always wanted to do. And when I got into it, I was kind of on my own and I kind of felt my way about what feels good. I think you know about that is when you just bring in what you feel is the right way of doing something. And because it's not necessarily for me taught. And I had a lot of good validation coming. My sister, I think, was my first guinea pig. She reached out and she said, she had an aneurysm behind an eye and could I heal it? And I was like, whoa, I haven't done this before. I'm new at this. So I did. And I want to tell you how I sent the energy then. In one of these books here, it says like, oh, you can send out the energy for healing 1,000 miles. Well, they just put a kibosh on it. It's no limits. And so what I did is I kind of turned around in a circle to kind of see what felt right. Like, where is she? And then I visualized her in front of me. And then I just took like white light, like you guys have opened a copy machine before and you see the light bar. I saw the light bar go down. My intention was to take that aneurysm out, to send her healing. So I went ahead and I brought that down and she was like in front of me, right with my eyes, and I went over her eyes with this white light. And I sat there for quite a while and then brought it all the way through her, this white light. And then I go, okay, thank you. And so she had, a doctor take her, like optometrist, take a picture or whatever it was. And they found this and everything. So she had an appointment the next day with the ophthalmologist. So they examined, they took the picture, and the guy said, nothing's there. But they have proof. They have proof that something's there. So that was the beginning of how I learned how to do it. Do it a little bit differently. But first, I want to talk to you about a healing circle that I had. We had a bowl with that I keep people's healing requests in, and the healers get around it and send energy into it. So what they didn't know was that one of the little slips of paper had a dog's name on it. The dog had an x-ray, was full of cancerous tumors. So we sat and we gave to everybody in that bowl, we aimed our energy. Matter of fact, I was sitting there and I was getting pelted by ouch, ouch, ouch. If anybody's been in a sandstorm before, they'll know what it's like to get the sand hitting them. And I was like, where's this coming from? And it was a nurse that across the room that was sending the energy, and I go out, nothing, and then I get pelted again. I told her to aim at the bowl. But I want to tell you that week, the owner of the dog posted on Facebook the x-ray of just about every tumor gone. People were praying for that dog, and we were sending that energy. Almost every tumor was gone out of that dog. And I thought that was amazing. Now, how I work now, we're going to play show and tell. Everybody know what that is? This is a temporary placard for California, and it may be everywhere, that you get when you have an injury or an illness and you can't walk too well. Well, this is mine. And let me tell you my story. I had a really bad knee. I'm not a sissy at all. I don't cry. I don't do any of that stuff. But my knee was so bad that I couldn't even sit in any position that tears would just come down. The pain was so great. And I went to the doctor, and they were talking about physical therapy and stuff, and I went like 2 times, and I said, not for me. Pain is horrible. And I went back and I said, I need an MRI. Give me an MRI. And they gave it to me. So what the results that came back were that I had cysts, torn meniscus, and arthritis. So the only thing I could do was go have surgery. And I went home. I didn't want surgery. I went home. My knee was so messed up. And I went, like, duh, Debbie, you heal others. So I sat down as comfortably as I could, and I reached out with my hand. I reached out and I grabbed white light and I brought it back and I pushed it into my knee. So say this is my knee. I pushed it in and I grabbed the white light and I pushed it in with the intention of what that white light was. That it's out in the universe in abundance. I'm going to take it, transform it for my healing, and push it in. So I'd see this white light go in, and I might just kind of put the white light like that through it. And sometimes when I heal, I put a little blue for comfort, a little blue, because we're going to talk about the colors in just a while. And in 2 weeks, I was healed. I didn't throw this away. I kept it because it's a reminder of where I was and how hands-on healing healed my knee. And that was, to me, a miracle. And so now if you guys follow the Bible, and Jesus said that you can heal greater than he did, then you can know that you can just grab that white light, put it into the body, set it intention. I think intentions are so important on everything. And put it in the body, see it go through the body. So I have lots of validation from people that I have sent healing to. One last story here is that I used to do this. I used to send angels to an elderly person friend and also to my sister and her partner. And I would send and post them. I said, I'd like to have angel to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west on the roof of their house. And I'm going to put in energy of healing into their house. So I would grab the white light and I'd put it in their house. I'd see it, how, where it was. And I put that white light in. And I didn't get to do it every night, but I did it quite often. Now, what came out of that, my elderly friend would call me and say, did you send me some healing last night? I say, yes. And she said, I had the greatest day when I got up. I ate breakfast. I drove my car. I went to the library. I got my vitamin B shot or at the doctor. She did all these things, but she always knew when I did it. I got a call from my sister, David. This was crazy. My sister said, Debbie, there's something going on in my house. And I said, okay, because I'm ready. I'm ready with like, okay, is it a ghost? I'll tell you what to do. And what she did is she said, we don't know what's going on in our living room, but we have blackout shears and we have, we have blinds, we have everything. It's dark in there. And we have hanging white light in the middle of the room. She said, we've gone around the room, we've checked everything, the windows, anything having a light on, any equipment, but we seldom use the living room. And nothing's on. Yet, Debbie, there's white light hanging in my house. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. I'm sending you white light and putting it in your house. So that's when that validated that we can actually send long distance healing or light or energy to someone. So that's my crazy stories.
Well, I think speaking around what you were saying, or just what came to mind for me was that we don't realize our power, and it brings to mind what Jesus said about faith, the size of a mustard seed, because we believe we are small, and we believe when someone says long distance energy healing, well, that would imply that we have power, essentially. We have powers to send out this energy, which I believe we do. And a lot of what you've demonstrated through your experience actually verifies that we do have this power, that this power is accessible. And if it's accessible to you, it's accessible to other people, because we all are part of a human matrix. We're not that different from each other. We have an energy field, we have a soul, we have a vibration. So if you're able to do it, other people are able to do it too, which shows our power. And the faith is really important, believing in this that you're doing, and which is what Jesus was talking about, having the faith that we are these healers, that we do have these powers. The faith is really important. And yeah, so I really believe what you said about stepping into that vibration. And a lot of these colors are linked to pranic healing, and what I learned, which was Taoist healing or Taoist healing in China. So I learned that, which was this color healing. So I'm interested to hear more
Ooh.
about the color healing. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I had no idea. Okay. There's different things. Color breathing, like I said before, came out of university, and so it was studied. And I went back and kind of read a little bit about it. And if you guys go to, like the main search engine, and you put in color breathing, hit images, they will show you the charts, because you can use different colors. They vibrate differently, I guess, and you can use them for healing and for different things. Anywhere from healing relationship, physical healing, to healing your finances. You can use a color. And that's why we use colored candles, right? Some of you that are Wiccan or pagan, or just love to use the different candles, they have a different vibration with them. We're so used to having where in the world did pink come from for love, you guys? And it really does work. Pink does work when we're doing any type of healing with color. And so let me show you these two books. You guys know that I'm a retired librarian, and these books came through, and I went and ordered and tried to find them, and I did find them. And they're about color breathing, health, youth, and beauty through color breathing. Well, I was interested in what the heck this color breathing was about. The back will have a color chart. These are very old, and I don't know if you can get them anymore. This is by Linda Clark and Yvonne Martine. And they did this one, Health, Youth, and Beauty Through Color. It was reprinted, and on the back are all these different colors. So I am going to tell you, I was on the fence, but I am going to tell you about my color breathing experience. Because I got these books and I thought, let me try it. Let me see if this works, because I'm always game for, let's see if it works. And so for skin, it said to use pink. So, you guys, when they print out color charts, they're not true colors, okay? When you get a printed color chart, may not be the true colors. This I know. Yeah, Kim knows my story, I think. So, I was breathing in the way they said. And what it is you take 3 breaths in through the nose and blow it out 3 times. And then you take it in, but you have to have a color here to think of. You could put the real color, a color chart there. You can go get paint chips from the big box stores, the painting chips, or you can just see it. So I envisioned like a strawberry milkshake, okay? I know what that looks like. And I saw the color, and I breathed it in, goes into your lungs, count a few times, bring it, and then blow out. And as you blow it out, put it where you want it to go. So I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to put it on my head. So my face. So the pink went up like that. I was young. I didn't see any difference. I go, okay, whatever. Well, there was a difference. At work, there was a difference going on. And I ended up at a party of patrons where I work, and there happened to be the biggest names you would know, biggest names in the world that you would know. The people were in my community, so they were there. And this one couple, the man came to me. They're a wonderful couple. They love each other. Everything's fine. Well, the man came over to me and just went like this. What'd you do? Debbie, what'd you do? Did you did you go to beauty college? And I'm like, what? He goes, what'd you do? What'd you do here? Because look at, and then he starts screaming across the whole thing with all these people for his wife to come over, grabbed her and said, look at Debbie. Look at her. She went to beauty college or something. Something happened to her. Do you see that? And she's like, oh, honey, are you crazy? you know? And I noticed this from a few other people through that couple weeks. And I let it go. And then I just said, well, that was a good experiment. It didn't work. I'm just going to put that away. But I love finding out. Well, let's go 20 years later when I'm talking to a friend and she's talking about using color. I said, hold on. Can I tell you a story? And I told this story to her and she laughed and she laughed and she laughed. She said, what color were you breathing in? I said, like a nice pink, rich strawberry shake or Pepto-Bismol. She laughed harder and she says, Debbie, soft pink is for your skin. If you can use it for acne or anything for your skin. But what you were using as rose colored. Now, 2 hours ago, I got this out and I asked about rose color. Same thing as color breathing. It's for sexual energy. So I had the wrong color. So we don't want to use that color unless we want it for a purpose. Soft pink. And that's how I knew it worked. I go, for goodness sakes, color breathing works. So you guys, you can, the way that I said, and you can watch this again of how you breathe it in, release it to where you want it to go and let it go. If you go study this, you'll see that you can use green. A medium green is for money, to bring prosperity in. But you can use this for all kinds of ailments. And mainstream people, you go to a therapist now, they're going to go through guided meditation. They're going to do a breathing exercise and they'll probably add some color to it. And there you go. You will have a way to heal yourself. So that can heal all kinds of things. But now let's talk about the Miracle of Metaphysical Healing. Hard to get this book. Same premise as color breathing. But they don't have you can use color if you want. They just tell you to breathe the 3 times. And then they want you to kind of recite something that you memorize through the power of the energized mind. I heal myself of whatever. So it's full of different ways, from cancer, healing cancer, heart attacks, paralysis, finances, all kinds of things. But it also has one for the uncurable. Whatever's uncurable, they have a thing for it. But all of it really is breathing in the 3 times, seeing it go somewhere in your body, and then reaffirming that you will get this healing because your mind is now energized. So you would have it go somewhere in your body, then back up to your brain. So these are things that you can actually go and look up and explore. It's crazy, but they work. And the Miracle of Metaphysical Healing, you can try to get, I know there's still some copies out there on eBay and things like that, but it really is packed full of information on different ways that you can really cure yourself or others. But it has real true stories of people getting cured. So that's very, very interesting. What do you think about that, David?
Well, I'm just thinking about my experience with Reiki and with Taoist healing, which is from China, or classical Chinese medicine. And a lot of those traditions verify that the color healing. The Indian tradition believes in the chakras, particularly the primary chakras, because there's sort of smaller chakras. The energy field isn't just the 7 chakras, there's smaller ones, and there's also higher chakras. So a lot of people may have 9 chakras because there's the star chakra, the divine chakra, different chakras that move depending how high up your field goes. But red is the primary grounding chakra. That's like basically when you sit down, like what do you sit on? Your sit bones, your coccyx. They're like really the ground of your body. That's the red, which is energetically red is the lowest vibration color that we have. So lowest, just in terms of on a physical level, the red, I don't know if you know the frequencies of each color. So red
No,
is the lowest vibration, and it goes up all the way to indigo violet and white, and you sort of transcend. So the chakra system is actually very scientific, because red is your lowest vibration, which is your ground, it's your first chakra, safety, survival, immune system, food, shelter, things like that. Your second chakra is orange, and that's the vibration of the sun, which is very alive, which is linked up to fertility and the sexual area. So the second chakra is also creativity, though, because that's you literally get physically created in that part of your body. So our life itself is created there. So, and that's the orange. Then moving up to our solar plexus, that's our self. That's the yellow. That's yellow. And our sense of self, our self-esteem, our self-worth, what we think about ourselves, how we view ourselves. That's really what that's about. And then into the heart. The heart has 2 colors, so green and pink. So we were talking about green and pink being these healing colors. Those are emotional colors and the color of the heart. And I'm wearing green today, so I'm wearing the healing color of green. Moving up to the throat is blue. So we want this to be a crystal blue, like the ocean or like sky blue. And then the third eye is indigo. And the crown chakra is violet. So as we move up, the energy becomes more subtle, all the way upwards to white and beyond. With the Taoist healing, we imagine these colors or visualize colors. So white would be one of the sort of foundational principle. But when we're sort of cleaning an organ, when I was doing cleaning organ healing, say I want to clean the liver, the way to do that is to imagine blue. So blue as the water cleaning the liver, for instance. Also, green is a very detoxifying color. Chlorophyll is all about cleaning the body. White is a very clear and transparent and clearing energy, accentuating energy. Gold was another healing color that I remember using. And also violet. Violet is a more spiritual color, so more about inner peace, transcendence, more spiritual kind of energies coming through. So each color has a vibration, has a sort of essence that one can use depending on what one's target is and how one wants to use it. But just, I think, for instance, the blue energy, imagining your when you have a shower, when you take a shower, imagining blue energy and the water cleansing your body, cleaning yourself, purifying yourself. I think that's kind of neat. That's kind of cool. So really, there's a lot of different ways we can use color and color healing.
I think that's great. I had no idea about, you know, how they do that, and that, of course, now we go and say, well, That must be around for a long time, a long, long time. I'm just reading comments. Oh,
Kim is
Kim.
discussing the
Yeah.
red.
Yes.
And people's chakras aren't always completely in balance. Everyone has a unique sort of expression of their soul essence in their energy field. And so definitely that's wonderful, Kim, that you've seen that. And I'd love to hear more about that from Kim. That's wonderful. So people do see auras.
That's what I was just going to ask. Can you see the energy field? And what is it personally to you, David? Do you see your own? You see the people that you're working on?
Yeah, I can often pick up on it. It's more it's less like I'm seeing it with my eyes, more I'm seeing it with my third eye. I'm seeing it with,
Right.
it's a different sense, I would say, that I'm accessing. But definitely you can feel it, and often feel where someone's very depleted. I see, I've had a lot of people I've worked with that, for instance, had a very weak energy coming out of their throats, very weak this is to do with communication, and that was just really suppressed or shut down, and I could really feel that strongly. But people have blockages in all the chakras, some more than others though. So often solar plexus chakra is not really, sense of self is not really happening. Throat chakra I mentioned. So I do tend to see repeat patterns.
Is there a way that people can clear their own chakras, or do they have to have that done by someone else?
Yeah, just by putting your hands over each part of your body in the chakra system, and imagining that flowing cleanly and the color of that chakra. So if it's red, putting your hands over your hips and visualizing this beautiful ruby red color that's flowing, and it's expansive, and you want to bring the energy into, because it's like, you want bright colors, you want them to be moving and sparkling, because otherwise, if you imagine someone who's not so energetic, those colors are pretty stagnant and not really flowing. So you want them to be flowing and beautifully clear and vibrant and bright. But definitely placing your hands over different parts of your body, like just for instance, I'm doing my throat and picturing a bright sky blue that's transparent and clear and flowing. So people can do that when they wake up in the mornings, or perhaps during the day. It's really helpful.
What color was here again? I'm sorry. Violet?
Indigo.
Oh,
Indigo.
indigo and then violet. I have not ever cleansed a chakra in my life. I imagine I'm in poor shape.
No, no. Whether it's like animals have chakras too, and they're not busy cleansing their chakras consciously. The energy field exists whether you consciously clear it or not. You would have a shower, and you would probably so when you're having a shower, you'd be cleaning yourself, and that would be clearing it, for instance.
Oh, thank goodness. No, I do a lot of healing on myself. It's just like a automatic thing every day. We just kind of clear everything out, put a little healing in, and go forward. Maybe why I have so much energy is people just go, you have so much energy, and yet, I'm going to be 69 years old. And I'm like, I don't know where it comes from, but I have it. I'm going to use it as long as I can. So, well, I'm going to try doing that. Here we went through a whole hour and we just scratched the surface. We couldn't even really teach everything and go through everything, but there's so much to it. People heal in so many different ways. There's so many ways that they do it, or they go to practitioners. It's amazing, but I'm so glad that we have it. The one thing I wanted to try is I was looking around to buy like a globe at, you guys know I love the thrift stores, a globe, and start, because I have that faith of a mustard seed. And I believe that if we take the globe and we start sending the energy around, maybe we can get some things straightened out of just healing energy. And I want to spin the globe and grab and send the energy all the way around it and start trying to do that, because I believe it's possible.
Yeah, and I think that faith is really important. Trust in our innate power and our innate divine God-given powers, because I think we have been taught to surrender that, to suppress that, to shut it down. It's almost a lot of societal indoctrination has prevented us from fully expressing ourselves and expressing our power, because energy is power. So healing energy is power, and that's our divine birthright, to have that universal life force energy and have that connection to the divine.
We're going to be closing up everything right now. We're about at the end of our time, but if you appreciate the knowledge that you got or the direction, please send a donation to David, and it's going under there. His PayPal will come back again. And now David has sessions that you can book that part of it is free, and you can book it right there at heal.me/star mental health, and have that time where you can, talk to David and see how he can guide you or help you. And if you'd like to donate a cup of tea to David, you can send a donation to PayPal. And he would love that, because there he goes. I wish I drank tea like that, but some I go, ooh. And but I have a lot of medicinal teas. And when the pandemic started, I went and researched, because you guys knew that's what I did in the library, a lot of researching, all the respiratory teas that I could get. And I wrote them all down and I sent away from them. And so I do have all of those, but I love this. You want to know my favorite tea? It's called Midnight in Paris, because
Wow.
It's like chocolate.
That sounds so romantic.
It is, but it tastes like chocolate. It's so good. So yeah, that's my favorite thing. Maybe I'll get to Paris sometime. Like, my whole family's been there. Some of my family's from Paris, and
wow. I've been there. I have been
well,
there.
of course, you've been everywhere. You just came back from Bali, so that's yes. Awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I like Bali. Just I see snakes or spiders. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go there, but it's beautiful. Thank you for sending me all the pictures. We're going to go ahead and go next week. I'll be back on just me. You get just me, I think, doing readings and giving away Beanie Babies. Okay, we'll give one away next Saturday. Tuesday, David's show, which is 4 p.m. I've got it right now. 4 p.m. Pacific time. David's wonderful discussion and readings. He does great readings, you guys. David, thank you so much for coming and talking about healing. Oh, look it! I got to do this. I got to get spiritual. Yes, namaste. That's what Kim says. Namaste. Thank you, guys.
Remember that names and labels are just names and labels, and energy is beyond names and labels.
Awesome. It has no limits.
Healing has no limits. It's part of the limitless field.
All right. Thank you, David. And I will talk to you later, David. Stay on. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.